We're back. We have a special guest in the building, Dorrough. What's up, man?
For sure.
How are you?
Hey, give it up real quick.
Hey, you a legend, man.
Real talk.
We are excited to have you.
I work hard, you feel me? I would hope to, to be that, but it's still a lot of work to be done. You know what I'm saying? I think it's even levels to the legend. You know what I'm saying? We're a legend. It's levels to that. So steady trying to climb.
I definitely think you've reached that level in Dallas, most stuff, in Texas also.
Yeah. And the goal is worldwide.
Already. Absolutely. Now get that man his flowers for sure. You done accomplished a lot, not just in Dallas, but shit in the game. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that for real. For real. It's a lot of new energy that I'm got going right now. So with that being said, I just look at it as a step to go to the next step. But it feels good to to do it from the city though. I ain't gonna lie, cause this a tough place. You feel me to do anything really. But anything in entertainment and music. To come out the city, it's a lot of resistance. You feel me? So with that being said, just going through that is it's a blessing.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to talk a little bit about that. We talked about it on the last 2 episodes, and just to hear it from someone of your stature in this industry, like the love in Dallas, how can we fix and give each other the support that maybe other cities might have that, or a platform that other cities might have that we don't?
It's a couple things that I think. First of all, it's the city becoming used to success, and having it. I think every city goes through it and at different levels. But I think what it is with Dallas, and I tell people this all the time, Dallas is like the very last major city to go through the door, especially when you're talking about entertainment, music, to hit that platform. There's a lot of other cities. All the other major cities done it, and then you even got smaller cities that have done it. Memphis, you got of course, you got the Atlantas, and you got New York and Cali, all the Cali cities, Chicago, and then you got that, even Houston. They done had a certain level of success that Dallas haven't had to an extent. So what happens is when a city has success, the people get used to having success. When the first time somebody becomes successful in a city, everybody have a mentality to believe that it can only be one, or it could only be one or a few, and that's just not true. It could be, you see cases like Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? There's somebody coming through that door every year to the highest level, and it been like that for years. So I think what happens in cities like that, they start to feel like, okay, all I gotta do is put in work. It can be more. It can be, multiple people having success. And Dallas wasn't used to that. So when we first started having success in the city, it became a whole lot of resistance because from my perspective, it felt like people felt like it could only be one. You know what I'm saying? And, so I think it's a time thing. I think it's a time thing.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's a common thing amongst our people as a whole, not just in the music industry. That's in business and everything. That's a crab in the barrel mentality. Only one of us can do it.
It's gonna always be hard for anybody coming out their own city, though. It's always the hardest. Your hardest task, no matter where you from, because I see this from other artists. They be in New York, you know what I'm saying? They be in LA. People in LA feel this way. Even some people in Atlanta feel this way. Some people in Houston feel this way. At some point, every artist or people that's pursuing success feel resistance from their hometown or their home city. So that's just something that's in our community. But then you got cities that's at a higher level at that. And Dallas is definitely one of those cities that, take that to a whole other level sometimes.
Dorrough, okay, so with your beginning journey, how it popped off for you, can you tell somebody who kind of was going through that, who's going through that same thing right now, how did it start for you? Where did your beginning journey start? What advice would you give to somebody that's just getting started in?
I would tell them to stay mobile, move around. Everything. I don't care where you at, what city you at, what state you at, or even if you in the city, you'll be surprised where even in the city where you from, or let's just say Dallas, moving all over Dallas. You know what I'm saying? Me, I moved around. So when I felt like I was putting enough energy in one spot, I go to the next spot. And for me, it started out in Texas as a whole. For
sure.
I went to Lancaster High School. I was applying pressure then. I was dropping music then. And I went to PV, same thing. But while I was at PV, I would go to Houston. you know what I'm saying, develop a relationship with Houston, you know what I'm saying. Then I would come to Dallas, and then I would go back to Austin, and I would just bounce around. So being from Dallas, I felt like it was always ceilings, like, you know what I'm saying, where just say if I'm pushing a record or a project, right, I always will feel that ceiling when it's like, okay, I need to move around now. I did so much. It's only so much you can do anywhere.
So you hit that plateau.
Yeah, right. And that's in any city, any place, any state. You feel me? You kind of gotta know when that is, because you ain't, if you go past that, that's when you're gonna really feel that resistance. That's a good way to know when you done got to that point, when you really just start feeling that resistance you shouldn't feel. It's like it's time to move around.
For sure.
So I would tell people the best thing to do is to move around. Like if you from Dallas, don't just grind in Dallas. And if you grind in Dallas, just say you can't leave the city. You need to be all over Dallas. You need to be suburbs, Fort Worth, Arlington. Dallas is huge. So if you blow up in a metroplex like this, you got the potential to go worldwide. You get what I'm saying?
That's a good game.
So a lot of people in Dallas still only apply pressure to wherever they from or wherever they comfortable with. So you know it's about that. So if you in the city of Dallas and just say right now that's the only thing you can do, then you need to be applying your pressure all over the city of Dallas.
That's fair.
And then you want to branch out to other cities. You want to go to Tyler, Texas, and Waco, and Austin, and Houston, and Beaumont, and just, you know, look at it from that perspective. Like, I'm gonna take over the state first, so I'm gonna apply everything I can to the state of Texas first, and then I'm gonna go to Oklahoma. If you look at it that way, it's more doable. And,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Reachable.
Yeah. So
I
I think a lot of people that that's from the city. That's probably the main thing.
I think what you touching on too is something that we don't talk about: networking.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you really want to be in the city, if you really want to be spread out through this motherfucker, like you gotta really network
with the city.
Exactly. You gotta tap in.
That's real.
And everything that anybody need is right here in Dallas. That's one thing I know for a fact. That ain't no cap. That ain't me just making up some shit. Like you can make it worldwide from Dallas, Texas. It's a lot of the top 10 markets, any city like that. But you can make it worldwide easily from Dallas, Texas. But you got to look at Dallas as a whole. You got to look at the whole metroplex, and you got to look at every side of it. I don't care what you know where you from. You got to go to the places where you uncomfortable too.
From Oak Cliff to Frisco.
Hey,
I knew you was gonna get live at that
Frisco. Fort Worth too. Fort Worth is slept on because Fort Worth by itself is a big city. It's bigger than a lot of other cities that you would think it wouldn't even be bigger than. You feel me? And so it's really like you got two cities right here in Dallas, major cities. And if you look at it from that perspective, and that don't matter what you're doing, that ain't even just rapping, that ain't just music. That's any type of field. Like if you apply pressure enough in Dallas and Fort Worth, you bound to, you know what I'm saying, be able to do anything.
That's good game.
So like, how do you delegate like your responsibilities as an artist, like with your team makeup? Like, how do you keep your team focused on, okay, this the mission, and I need you to do this, and I need you to do this, and I need you to do this, so this can free me up to touch every place that I need to touch.
Well, I got a small team, but I consider my team strong. You feel me? Like, you know what I'm saying? You can have I forgot the term, but you can have 100 gazelles, or you can have 4 lions type shit.
Real time.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So like that's what I consider. And the team that I got, we've been together for a minute. You get what I'm saying? We've been together since day one. We've been together since 10 plus years, 15 years you know what I'm saying? So we just kind of like developed that naturally, but along the way, you know, I meet people, and you know, like Taylor, for example, you know, Taylor was hungry when we first met, and she was hungry in a good way, and every time I look at Taylor every year, she grow, she doing something more and more. So I like connecting with people like that anyway, because that's how I am. You get what I'm saying? So it's really about really just you put the right energy in yourself, and you just attract it. It automatically happens. So you really don't never gotta kind of go out and look. You gotta play both. I tell people all the time, you're not just gonna always attract, but so you gotta be like a hunter. I want to say you want to be a hunter and a person that, what's the opposite of a hunter? Gatherer, you feel me? So it's like you got to know when to gather, and you got to know when to hunt. You feel me? So you got to know when to attract and when to go out, and you know what I'm saying, pursue something that ain't that ain't just coming to you. You know what I'm saying? So it's a combination of both. I guess it's just balance at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And that's how I look at it.
For sure.
I do want to talk about that story a second, because I don't even know if you know this, but when I sent you that email, so I sent emails, DMs on Facebook and Instagram to like everybody. Just to like, to your point, I was hungry. I just wanted like, and I had a cover letter, had my resume, and Dorrough hit me up, and he had met me, and I was like, this might not be him.
I thought you would get
I'm like, cause it was like, I think he hit him on Facebook or something. It was like not a typical platform that you would hit to respond on. So I was like, okay. And then like, I remember I had my resume. I gave him my resume, and then he read over it, and I was like, I'm really good with marketing, I'm really good with social media, and he like was listening, and he was like, I have a marketing person, but I think you would be really good as my PR person. And I was like, but I'm really good at marketing. And like, he's the person I will say that got me out of the, like, I think I've always tried to like be behind the scenes and like not like make a fuss. And so to have someone like believing you that, is not someone that, I mean, like I said, I emailed you and I DM'd you, and like for you to believe in me and always support me, like it's love.
Well, I saw it. It was just even how you was presented. That's really the thing that I saw the most. I like people that's hungry and they're already moving in that direction on their own. So that's the first thing I noticed. You know what I'm saying? And then when we met, I could see that, okay, you gave me PR energy. You feel me? Because I meet with a different like a PR, but PR is good because especially Dallas, I that's like one thing. You have some of that out here, but that's the one thing that I felt like Dallas lacked. You know what I'm saying? So when I saw that energy, because I moved around, I go to LA, I don't live in LA, New York, and these are like the places where that PR game is the strongest. And we lack that here in Dallas from an overall standpoint. So you was like one of the first people I saw that had that type of energy that could play that part. So even if you didn't know that, didn't see that, I was like putting that in your head, like, hey, this something you can always market. You can always be, you can wear many hats. You feel me? You can be a one-stop shop. But if you just know that this part right here, this staple is missing from the city, PR game, and then I felt like you had that. So it was low key me seeing that and also trying to implement that and put that in your head, like, hey, you should go after this because Dallas need that. I need that. Yeah. I need that from a person that's in Dallas, and the way you presented yourself. You know what I'm saying, and just from everything I saw, like, yeah, she could do that.
I appreciate that. No, I definitely want to give you your flowers because, like I said, I've seen Young Nation give you flowers. Just like you really are someone that passes the torch and really just shares your information and shares your knowledge. And I can call you and be like, yo, Dorrough, this happened, and you'll give me like, game on it. And it's just like everyone doesn't do that. Yeah. And everyone doesn't have pure intentions to do that. So I appreciate you, and I really want to give you your flowers while you're here.
For sure. What is just kind of like moving the pendulum along a little bit? What is right now looking like for Dorrough? Like, what are you? Yeah, what are you working on? Because I heard the Steel record now. We just played it at I think DJ Tasia Alexa played it on. Okay, shout out DJ Tasia Alexa K104. Yeah, for sure.
Shout out to everybody in the city that's already on that record, because I'm just now brand new with it. It ain't even been out for a month yet. Yeah. So Steel is in a nutshell, that record explains everything I'm on right now.
Okay.
And it's more on some Dallas rise up type shit, Texas rise up type shit.
Yeah.
The one thing I can say about everything that happened over the years is you get to a point where you can see, like, okay, I see what this was. It was better when it was like this for everybody.
Yeah.
The best times we've never had in Texas been the music-wise. I'm gonna speak from a music standpoint. When Houston had the Texas shit going on, Slim Thug, Mike Jones, Swisher House, everybody in Texas and especially Houston was winning. We had our own culture. It was a pride we had. That's even the energy that started me to rap. When I was in high school, junior high school, when that type of energy was emerging, and it influenced me. But it also influenced people of course, out here in Dallas, Dallas was always a support system for Houston.
Yeah.
Right.
Dallas is a lot of the reason why Houston had the success they had. You feel me? The best time for Dallas, it was the Dallas Boogie era. No better. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now, this is an era that I came out of and started. Yeah. So I can easily see the difference between what was going on now and then. When the Dallas Boogie era was going, everybody was eating. And I mean everybody. All the DJs, the producers, the rappers, everybody that was in entertainment, radio personalities.
Dancers, Mr. Hit
dancers. Everybody in the city was eating during the Dallas Boogie movement some way, and people was getting paid. Everybody, it was a different type of energy, and like now as years go by, I'm like, them the two biggest movements that ever happened in Texas where everybody benefited the most. So with that being said, now it's like, okay, that energy got to come back somewhere or another. You feel me? So that's the point of the Still record. The whole point of that record, and that's actually back during my last single, which was Hit a Lick with Sauce Walker. Hit a Lick with Sauce Walker is the same thing. That's me.
I love when Dallas and Houston.
That's me. And that's it's actually rare. It ain't that many Dallas Houston records. I can't really even think of a Dallas Houston record.
Like King when he collabs with like a Nation Cause Big King.
You know what? Sauce Walker show a lot of love to Dallas too, though.
Dallas
spread around. Yeah, most
but Sauce Walker is a person that understands what I'm talking about.
Right.
Sauce Walker respect all the Texas legends. He put that energy out himself. You feel me? That's how we connected. We did that record in 2017, Hit a Lick. We put it out last year in 2021. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I had went to Houston one time in like 2017, and my whole goal was to get this Texas project done. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go to Houston and get do a song with everybody that's I consider as dope or a legend.
Right.
And then I'm gonna do it in Dallas too. You know what I'm saying? But I had to physically go to Houston to be able to get this type of stuff done. Whereas Dallas, you know, the people I know, I can make phone calls and we can get it done. So I went to Houston. But it was kind of tough because everybody wasn't seeing that vision at the time. I was pulling up, and then everybody had a lot of stuff going on, so it was a slower process. But you know, I linked with Kiati. Shout out to Kiati. He linked me and Sauce Walker together. We had a conversation.
Dude. Kiati a solid dude.
And the first conversation me and Sauce Walker had was just on some Texas shit. It was just like about basically what we talking about now. And then that was when I was like, okay, we gotta do a record. And that was the first and only record we had did. So we did that record, but like when I started working on that project to try and get it done, it was kind of some resistance because everybody wasn't seeing that vision. So I just kind of veered off, started doing some different shit, started doing my own thing, everybody boom. But we came back around to it. So one day, I can't remember what was going on, but I was in the studio going through records, and like shout out to Seth Ferguson. Seth Ferguson is my engineer, or was my engineer in Atlanta. He passed away. He was also Future engineer, but like he had mixed that record, and like I was going through songs and I heard it, and it was like first I was just listening like to the quality of it. I'm like, this shit sound good, like you know what I'm saying. But then I started listening to what we were saying on that song and where I was in my mind and what was going on at the time, and I was like, damn, this actually is a better time to put this record out. Because sometimes when you sit on the record so long, you might not ever put it out. You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes it's not even relevant because of stuff you say, and you might say something that just relevant to that time you made it. But when I listened to it, I was like, damn, we didn't say nothing like that. Everything in here is timeless in the feel of it. So we put it out in 2021, and it got a certain type of response. So Still is also the follow up to that. All this is on my album that's coming out in January. Star Baby, which is a Texas project. So it's really, long story short, some shit
you collab with Dorrough. Like I feel like you collab with every person, like everybody.
It's still a lot of people to collab with, but yeah, I have collabed with a lot of people, man. When I first came in the game, I was just getting a lot of love and respect from everybody, and I like as an artist working with people to see what we can create. Like, so if I meet somebody, let's say I might meet somebody from New York, I'll be like, what does a Dorrough and Mano record sound that? I said that because we got a record coming out and we got some other stuff. But what does that sound like? What does a Dorrough
you just skipped over there? That's big though.
Jim Jones record. And I do that with anybody I meet if we vibing. You know what I'm saying? We cool.
So I can hop on the record.
Hey, if you know what, the Dorrough and Taylor move is this is a Dorrough and Taylor move right here. You know what I'm saying? This is our record right here.
I respect that you said no in a nice way.
You can talk
the
on the
move
intro.
that Dorrough and Taylor
Just put me on the intro.
Yeah.
you
That
can
part.
do that. Something like that. But now, the collabing part come natural. I think I pride myself as an artist on. And not because on even on no like other shit. It's just that like I ain't never paid for a feature, and the reason why I ain't never paid for a feature is because my thing is I want to work to a point where motherfuckers respect me enough to want to do the record.
Yeah, that's real.
Because I'm the same way. Like I done jumped on records for free because I like that artist. He dope. He dope. The record is dope. Or hard. I just like it. Or that person done put themselves and worked hard to basically, you know what I'm saying, get that. Yeah. So I do the same thing, and so to look back and see how many features I got and done and know that I never paid for them, it ain't even on no like because I don't want to spend no money type shit. It's just like, damn, these motherfuckers really respect me.
Yeah. With their relationship with them.
To do a record for me. You know what I'm talking about? And these from the Diddy's on down, Diddy's, I just remember, recording records with like Wiz and French Montana and Diddy and they just come and they just doing it for me, doing videos too. So it let me know that I'm working. You get what I'm saying? Like, or it's a respect level. So I try and keep that same thing. So I reciprocate that energy to other artists that I feel is dope and let them put that work in. You know what I'm saying? It's people that I'm working with right now that's on the underground. Right. But I've been watching them and they dope. I can see what they doing. So I'm blessing them. I'm showing them love because I know at the end of the day they putting that work in. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I remember being in a position, and in other ways I'm still in that position with with other artists because, like I said, it's levels to it. So I just
But your collabs are not just artists. Well, it's music related, but it's not just artists. You have a collab with the Cowboys.
Oh yeah.
You have a collab with the Mavs, and you have a new song that's dropped. Let's talk about it. Yeah. Okay.
I'm all Dallas everything, man. As you see, this a cowboy ring right here,
So y'all getting y'all going to the Super Bowl or?
We always going to the Super Bowl. Every year the narrative will always be the Cowboys going to the Super Bowl. It don't matter what type of year. It don't matter what type of year we hit.
Bro, folks hate on us so bad. Like we supposed to be down in our team or something. We supposed to say we going to the Super Bowl.
So you would never.
Real fans.
You know what I'm saying?
We can't even support that.
You would never not hear me say, we going to the Super Bowl this year. Every year, it don't matter. We can be 0-6 right now. Going to the Super Bowl. We can win the next.
We turn this bitch around.
I appreciate Dallas's loyalty. Like y'all gonna ride for Dallas. Like me and my husband have arguments because I'm like a Lakers fan. He's a Mavs fan. And I'm like, he tries to talk about the Lakers, and I'm like, dude. You gonna talk about the Lakers?
Yeah, bro.
But it start with the pride. You know what I'm saying? It start with the pride of your city.
There's so much pride in
and bro built a lot of that. Like you built a lot of the foundation for the pride of having the city, the pride that the city has. You know what I'm saying?
One thing Dallas always have is pride.
Pride.
And it's good and
bad.
It's been our plus and our downfall. It's a balance. You know what I'm saying? But I like having it. Honestly. Dallas is better when we got the pride, though. Honestly, when we more prideful about Dallas, like I say, when I think about the Dallas boogie movement, it wasn't just the music; it was the haircuts, it was the leather, it was the whole thing, it was the shag, it was the whole culture that what I'm saying. I was at Prairie during this time, so it was the first time we had some influence that Houston was influenced by. Dallas was always influenced by Houston, you know what I'm saying? But this is the first time where you down at Prairie View and Dallas got the, you know what I'm saying? And it was because we was prideful. It was because we was very prideful in our music, our style, the haircuts, the way, the fashion, whatever we was doing.
Right.
So
that's true.
I tell, and then same thing with Texas, same thing with Houston too. Like Texas is better off when they prideful, and you know what I'm saying. You don't ever want to be too prideful, but when we're not as proud, when we more like I would say like on other people's waves, we're less successful. You know what I'm saying?
That's
So
facts.
with that being said,
That's
you
facts.
know,
But you're seeing people pay homage to you, the Dallas Boogie movement on TikTok now.
oh yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
I'm seeing
yeah.
songs that I'm like,
That's
why
it.
y'all listening to this now?
Hey,
Facts.
TikTok is bringing back all that, you know.
It is.
But that's another sign that energy coming back, you know. Man, I can't tell you how much Dallas Boogie shit going on right now on TikTok.
Yeah.
Even like Walk Them blew up on TikTok. And,
Yeah.
but that's the thing. The stuff that's original and the stuff that we can call our own, it's gonna always stick. It's gonna always be, you know what I'm saying, something that's successful.
That's
So,
real.
yeah.
That's real.
Do you let me ask you this? Do you consider yourself an OG in the city? Like, do you consider yourself an OG?
People call me the OG all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's funny, but it's
Because I'm gonna tell you the reason why I ask, because you dropping so much knowledge, bro.
Yeah.
Anybody that's looking at this,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
up
yeah.
and coming, I hope they really paying attention to the
Yeah.
stuff that you saying, because you giving them game.
Yeah.
And you just
I'm
gave
speaking
a
from
game that I've
experience.
never heard before.
Yeah, I'm just speaking from
That's
experience. You
real.
feel me? Like, so you know, when it comes to Dallas, I learned a lot from. That's why even on a still record, like I'm paying homage to like people
DSR.
like Fat Bastard from
Yeah.
DSR.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
No
saying?
bitch.
And DSR, you know, I mentioned Swisher House, I mentioned Screwed Up Click. You know what I'm saying? And the goal of that record is to actually tie Dallas and Houston together in the places where we need to be tied together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's gonna always be like a friendly rival between Dallas
Absolutely.
and Houston. As
Absolutely.
it should be.
Yeah.
Sports, music, all that. But,
Iron
then,
sharpen
but,
iron.
on, but on a higher level,
Yeah.
Dallas and Houston gotta always be connected because
Absolutely.
they actually are. You know what I'm saying? When it
Yeah.
comes to
Yeah.
all type of ways, you feel me? And like that's why even when you see something like a Sauce Walker getting a lot of love in Dallas and showing a lot of love in Dallas. And I understand it because I always had got love in Houston. That's one thing. So I was never an artist. Like I can only say good stuff about Houston because really everything started for me in Houston when it comes to, like I started rapping in high school and I was at Lancaster, but during that time, everything was just there. My first real love and shows and like everything that was happening, it started at Prairie View, but it really started in Houston. Like everything played out in Houston.
Yeah.
So I started getting love from Houston day one.
Yeah.
So I always had a love for Houston because I always had love for me. So when I was getting these conversations, it would be hard for me to really feel a way about the H.
Yeah. Because they show so much love.
Like,
Yeah.
damn, you know, and it's the same way I feel about California because on a higher level, California is where I blew up mainstream. Like when you talking about the mainstream Dorrough, like to the world, the worldwide, that actually started in me in California, and I had never been in Cali. So whenever it's like certain things, it be certain conversation where I be like, damn, I gotta really think about like,
Right.
I understand why people saying that, but that don't really apply to me because nigga, I got that love, like the H. I got nothing, and then you see that with other artists like Slump Thug and like Lil Flip, Slump Thug, Mike Jones, Power Wall. They feel the same way I feel about Dallas. Like 'cause they got nothing but love from Dallas, all from day one.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? So they could never do say anything opposing to Dallas because they know. You feel me? And I feel the same way about Houston. So now, and people like Sauce Walker feel this way too through actions. So now that's why I'm like, you know, everything I'm doing now is just connecting the states together, the cities together, because that's what the Texas movement need to be. You feel me?
But I think that speaks to you too. Like and like when you show love, you get love back. You know what I'm saying? When you carry yourself a certain type of way, then you gonna get that energy back. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be positive or negative. So with you, everything I've always seen from Dorrough, it's always been uplifting, positive.
Yeah, that's
pushing the city forward, pushing the culture forward, all of it.
Yeah.
So I gotta salute you and give you your flowers for that, big dog.
I appreciate that. You know, it's too much resistance already for, you know what I'm saying, to like have to beef and be in another a space of energy, lower vibration, or whatever you want to call it. It's already enough resistance, especially in Dallas. Like we already got enough hurdles to get over. Just getting out the city itself from any type of profession. It's already hard enough. You know what I'm saying? So like everything else is just gonna make it harder. So you know, I always looked at it like that too. And then, you know, I'm a person that be in my own world, so it kind of be hard for me to clash with a lot of other stuff too, because I just be in my own world, like, you know what I'm saying? That type of shit.
Real deal.
So as we wrap up this interview real quick, we asked this to everyone, and I just want to know, what is your favorite all-time Dallas song?
My favorite all-time Dallas song. Man,
you gotta say it. You can't pick none of your songs either.
It really ain't one of my songs. it's gonna be more than one Dallas song, but it's reason. So
you about to give them multiple songs?
I gotta be honest.
You gotta be one song.
All right, so I want to say Southside the realest, but this is why. This is why it would be that, or maybe not be that. See, like in high school, and I stand on this to this day, I really truly know and believe, like me and my homies, like we was the ones that, and that's why I do songs like Still and Shout to DSR. We was the one really pushing that movement. Yeah. Everybody that have movements, have people behind the movement that make it a movement.
Yeah, that's real.
In high school, DSR was the first group that I saw that was really from Dallas. That I actually would see Tum Tum and people around. You know what I'm saying? Because Tum he basically from the L2 in Pleasant Grove.
Yeah.
So like when you see it, that's really what they influenced me to rap. Like I always I played ball and I used to like write lyrics and shit, but I never jumped off the porch until I saw DSR because they was right in the backyard. They were the one that made me like, oh shit, we can actually do this for real. Yeah. Right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like in Dallas, from Dallas and House Success. So I'm gonna say that to say like I remember jamming all the mixtapes, and then they dropped the volume. I forgot which volume it was. They had Southside the realest on it. I literally put this song on a CD. Mm-hmm. I burnt that one song on a CD. And, I played basketball. Like, I was junior in high school when this came out. Sophomore or junior, but I believe a junior. And, like, I was a captain of the team. So, like, I told us what we going to run out to. So, we ran out to this song. But one day, I burnt this one song on a CD. And I just drove all over the city, like, listening to this one song. This before it is Southside the realest that it is today.
Right.
This is, like, a couple days of it being out. Yeah. And I pinpointed this song on the CD. I'm like, this shit too hard, and I just remember just for like maybe a month straight, I'm just listening to this one song, nothing else for a month straight, and everywhere I went to, and that's why I gotta say that's my favorite because of that story. It's like
it's the anthem.
It's the anthem, but like I was catching it in real time. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't nobody pointed me to that song. Right. It was just like I was listening to it, the volume that it came out, and I heard that song. And I was just like, it's the hardest song.
It was one of the big T CDs.
We was getting them off line one. I heard Brian Sher. George Lopez, I was burning shit out. But on the back end, I was spreading that shit out. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Everybody on it. But I remember just hearing that song with no influence from nobody from the outside. And I was just like, this shit too hard. Like, I put it on the CD and I listened to it for like a month straight. Yeah. So now to see where it's at now, you know what I'm saying? I was like, damn, I remember when shit came out. And I ain't gonna say the song did it, but I'm glad to have recognized it then. And then I know my own personal story with that song. Like, I literally put it on the CD. So I gotta say that song. Yeah. Cause any other time it'll be cliche. A lot of people gonna say that song just because of what it is. Right. I'm like, nah, I got a real story with that song.
Business. Okay. That's a tough question too. That's one of the hardest questions.
I feel that way about Tum Tum Caprice music. You know what I'm saying?
Say why I was just thinking it. I do the fool.
They didn't even. Don't act like y'all know the song, because when we did Bitch Sweat on the first episode, y'all did not.
First of all, I wasn't a part of that game. Yeah, I wasn't a part of that game. I was back there like, how you not know that?
Thank you.
I was back there like, how you not know that song?
Wait.